So right behind me is the brand new multi-billion-dollar Lego factory that's coming to the United States for the very first time right here in my hometown, Richmond, Virginia. And today we're gonna find out why Lego's getting so expensive and whether this is gonna be the answer to it. All right, so we're at the visitor center right now. There's this big Lego brick. It's open to the public, actually. You can just drive up and go inside. But really what you all want to see is there an actual factory? Yes! There's actual steel beams being put up right now, and you can actually get an idea from the skeleton of the structure of just how massive this factory is going to be. And right now, as it stands, every single Lego set in North America is coming out of Mexico. That's how it's been for a very long time. And so you might be thinking, well, this is going to be the answer. This is what's going to bring down Lego prices. This is what's going to make my sets cheaper when I go to Walmart and Target. And I'm going to be the bearer of bad news. It's not going to happen. And I'm going to explain why. All right, like, what if I just go hop the fence and go say hi to the construction worker? I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding. The little kid in me thinks this is like a little Lego city right here. And I'm just thinking of like all those construction vehicles, the little Lego sets that you just want to play around with. Anyhow, right. So Lego sets specifically here in June of 2025 just got a price increase. For example, a Night Trooper Lego Star Wars Battle Pack that went from $20 to $23. That's about a 15% increase. Something like the Battle Droid with STAP, that's a $140 set where it originally was supposed to be $130. Again, that's closer to 8 to 10% of a price increase. And so you have to ask yourself, where's that coming from? The obvious answer would be tariffs, but it's, again, more complicated than that. So one might think that because Lego is building a US factory that, well, all Lego sets might come out of this factory and then all of a sudden you don't have to pay tariffs because you're no longer making stuff out of the country. You don't have to import it, right? You don't have to pay the tariff. But again, it's more complicated than that. Let me explain. So first off, the Mexico factory is not going anywhere. That's not just going to serve Mexico and Canada, for example. It's actually going to be a brother-sister relationship between this new US factory, meaning maybe some Lego sets from Mexico will go to parts like California and Arizona, whereas this US factory will serve the East Coast in places like New York, Massachusetts, Pennsylvania. So basically they're intertwined with each other and you can't split them up. And so that's problem number one. The Mexico factory isn't going to go away all of a sudden once this US factory comes online in just a year and a half from now. So problem number two is, where does the actual plastic for the Lego bricks get sourced from? And you might think that Lego has their own in-house plastic, that they make it themselves, and the reality is it's just not true. As someone who's been to Billund, Denmark, which is where the global headquarters of Lego is, as someone who's been to the actual factory there where they make Lego sets and Lego bricks, I can tell you that it comes from outside suppliers. And this isn't inside knowledge. Lego has a full-on supplier list that they have on their website. You can go look and see every single supplier they have. But one of the biggest that supplies the ABS plastic, which is what molds into Lego bricks, the little granulate, if you will, that comes from a company called LG. That's right, LG is in the TV company. That's kind of crazy, and also appliances and all that jazz, but they also so happen to be one of the largest suppliers of ABS plastic. It's specifically called LG Chem, and upon my research, it turns out that, well, currently all plastic granulate comes from either China or Korea. So Lego currently has to import all of that, say to Mexico, but let's say the US factory's online right now, that has to be imported. Now, LG Chem has already come out and said that they want to make a US facility and make plastic here in the States. But again, that's years away and it's not happening anytime soon. And then what about the ink that gets printed on the minifigures that adds those funny decorations like an angry pilot or a smiling spaceman? How does that happen? Well, the ink has to get sourced from places outside of the US because, well, we don't make it here. And once again, you can see a very complex logistics issue. Now, Lego sets are even more complicated than that. If you look at the bottom of any Lego set box, just take the cardboard, flip it over to the bottom, and you'll notice that it says components made in multiple countries, specifically places like Hungary, Vietnam, and the key one here is the United States. Now, why does it list all those different countries if it's just getting made in one particular area? Well, that's because the Lego pieces are being sourced from every Lego factory. Lego doesn't specifically just shell out all kinds of pieces for one particular set and one particular factory. No, they'll make even more than they need for that particular set and then store it in a warehouse, say in Denmark, for example. And then when the US factory is making the next Ninjago set, for example, well, if they need a sword that's only in Denmark that they've produced hundreds of thousands of, well, they'll just ship it over to the factory. And that will happen thousands and thousands of times for every single set. No single factory has the capacity to have LEGO's entire inventory of every single element. It's just not possible. And so this is how the logistics behind a LEGO set really work. All right, so we can all agree that LEGO is very expensive, especially LEGO Star Wars. That's why I'm going to be giving away some free LEGO Star Wars sets this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on my next Whatnot stream. And did I mention there's more? That's right, I've also got the 25th anniversary LEGO Star Wars Imperial Star Destroyer that I'm giving away. This is one of my favorite LEGO Star Wars sets, so no strings attached. All you have to do is sign up with the link down in the description to join Whatnot, both on iOS and Android. You'll download that app. You'll come to my stream this Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, where I'll be auctioning off my own LEGO Star Wars minifigures, whole bunch of Clone Wars figures. So if you've been looking for some Kashyyyk troopers, maybe some Bomb Squad troopers, you might want to show up to this one, and you might win one of these sets too. And I also have even more giveaways. It just keeps going. But I've also got some LEGO Star Wars 501st Battle Pack. So all of these sets will be given away completely free, no strings attached. So with the link down in the description, you can join Whatnot. That'll get you a $15 credit if it's your first time joining. You'll download the app both on iOS and Android, and you'll just have to jump right into it right when I go live on the app this Sunday. So thank you, Whatnot, for sponsoring this video, and let's get back to it. And then we need to talk about the T word, tariffs. Obviously, that's the biggest effect on why LEGO sets are continuing to get more expensive. Previously is inflation, now it's tariffs, and there could be a little bit of inflation mixed into that too. But to be honest, the tariff war is just beginning. It's only ongoing, and LEGO and pretty much every other toy company there is having to make guesses at how big the tariffs will actually be, because they continue to fluctuate up and down throughout 2025. And there's no real certain guarantee whether they'll go away completely or whether they'll stay. Likely they'll stay around, hence why there's only small price increases, depending on the LEGO set, of course. Now, I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. LEGO knows you don't like the price increases. In fact, they've already been reacting to this with some pretty sleek marketing, in quotations. They've been utilizing something called price anchoring, especially recently, where they increase the MSRP price, so that retail price, you know, from $20 to $30 for a LEGO set, for example, and then they flip it over to Amazon, Walmart, and Target, their biggest partners, to discount said LEGO sets, making it seem like the set's on sale, making it seem like you're getting a good deal, therefore increasing more sales, of course, and you, the customer, feel like you're getting a good deal. It's a complete perception of value. Now, as for LEGO themselves, they're utilizing gift with purchases, double VIP points, all these incentives to help make the sale, basically. And by combining price anchoring with the incentives from LEGO, this is how they continue to be the #1 toy brand in the world. Is this fair? Is this the right way to go about it? Let me know down in the comments below. So my final points are pretty simple, right? I think we all can agree that you shouldn't buy something that you don't think is priced correctly. If you think it should be a lower price, wait for it to go on sale, or just don't buy it at all. LEGO eventually has to react to how the consumer is buying their sets. If they're not buying stuff, they have to reduce prices. It's simple math. Now, this next point isn't my favorite, but it has to be said. LEGO is less volatile in terms of collecting, in terms of its value going up or down, comparative to Pokemon cards, Funko Pops, you name it. It holds its value, and therefore LEGO, I think, believes that it commands its high prices because of this said fact. Now, is that a good reason for them to increase prices? Absolutely not. So my final point to you guys is simply be a savvy buyer, right? Don't impulse buy, especially when a LEGO set is just coming out. As we just noted, LEGO is increasing prices and then discounting them months later with their biggest retailers. And so ultimately, you should be waiting for the sales. You should be waiting for the right time to strike to get your favorite set, because, well, LEGO sets aren't getting cheaper anytime soon. Thanks to Whatnot for sponsoring this video, and I appreciate LEGO for, of course, hosting me. I'm just kidding. I came here on my own. Thank you guys. Hope you guys have a great, wonderful day, and I'll see you guys later. Goodbye. You know, this is an official LEGO porta potty right here. There's even a little sink. It's all official LEGO. This is owned by LEGO, right? This is a LEGO porta potty. This is what it really looks like, everybody.